For the Seahawks, a walk-off. Dcroft said he heard you say on the cast he needed to be more aggressive. Does he come out aggressive here?
You know, I hope so. You know, that I think when you're aggressive, you play a little bit better. But for Dcroft, he knows this offense a lot better than I do. I just felt in that game, that situation, he was playing a little timid where he could have put Young Kiv away early. He kind of let him hang around, and Young Kiv had a chance to win the game in overtime. But Dcroft clutched up, made a great read, and won the game.
Kiv had tied it with a 4th and goal, 3-yard touchdown to Torrey Holt at the 4th quarter gun. Dcroft wanted in OT on a long bomb to Brandon Cooks. Saints guy winning it for the Seahawks. And right away, a completion here.
And that's going to be Dcroft's read on almost every single play. He always has that little baby out route, and he's not going to miss it if Volterax continues to put that flat out there.
Got it to Tyreek Hill, another popular player across the board. Just underway, and we'll keep an eye on the other in-division game for you, as well as Aaron Rodgers is on the move and gets belted right near the first down sticks. Rodgers wearing 12 for the 12s.
You know, I wonder if Volterax is going to be put in a spy versus this offense, because he doesn't have that escape artist that we're used to seeing from these gun pass heavy offenses. But Aaron Rodgers has a little bit of speed himself, and if Dcroft's able to realize that he has no spy, he's going to have some opportunities to take off.
Aaron Rodgers played his college ball just up the road from this studio up in Berkeley. Rams and Packers quarterbacks, both former Golden Bears, Rodgers and Goff.
We're going to see a lot of pressure coming here.
Right away, but it's Tyreek Hill dancing for the first down.
And it looked like he tried to pitch the ball right there. I'm not really sure what happened. It looked like Tyreek Hill was trying to find somebody to pitch it to. Very scary play for Dcroft.
Yeah, that
very
all the way out. That would have been something. It is a first down, 38-yard line. Dcroft from Mukilteo, Washington. It's got a great view of Whidbey Island if you've ever been up there. Rodgers looking underneath. He's got Torrey Holt.
Great read there by Dcroft. I love that route combination. You know, a lot of short routes, but the field is still spaced very well.
Dcroft, a little bit of a mad scientist, I think, too, Mo. On average, he calls 10, even 12 unique plays a game.
Yeah, something we don't see a lot of in competitive Madden. A lot of times we see players go to their base plays and they kind of make adjustments out of it.
Always challenging himself, says Dcroft. Look out! Aaron Rodgers goes down hard. Lawrence Taylor doing jumping jacks after the sack.
And Volterax was telling me, he said, I'm probably going to run a little bit more 3-4 odd than I'm used to running, just because that offense is so good. I'm not going to be able to get my block sheds that I normally get in that 3-3-5 defense. But look, he goes right back to it. This is his bend, don't break defense. That 3-4 odd, he's kind of taking a gamble because he's sending 7 guys. And this defense, we're very rarely going to see him send more than 3 guys.
He's got Donald Driver in the slot, now motioning here on a 2nd and 17. Looking to get rid of it underneath. There's Donald Driver. Longtime Packer out of Alcorn State, one-time 7th-round pick, had a heck of an NFL career. And a timeout taken right away.
And I think Volterax is over that 3-3-5 defense. He's just not getting any pressure. Lawrence Taylor's not able to shed. So I think he's going to go to this 3-4 odd defense and just send 7. Dcroft's got to buy some time to get his receivers open.
Dcroft listening to soothing music in those headphones, he tells us, by the way, not hardcore rock or hip-hop when he plays.
He's got him.
Flinging it to Tyreek Hill, strike up the band! Touchdown, Dcroft!
Great read there by Dcroft. I didn't think he'd have time to throw that, especially because it looked like he was looking for the wheel. Great way to stay in the pocket and make that pass.
Hey, it says he likes the soothing vibes to settle his nerves, so it's Ed Sheeran in those ears right now, not Meek Mill or something like that. Dcroft, ladies and gentlemen, is in love with the shape of Mo.
And you know, Volterax has all 95s on defense, so giving up a touchdown on your first drive makes it really difficult to play offense.
Gets rid of it here from about 50 yards out. Tyreek Hill got it at the 12 and waltzed on in.
Just a great route combination right there. Bought some time, knew he was sending 7 guys, beat the man blitz. Very, very good play by Dcroft.
Dcroft, a really interesting player. Born in China, moved to that Seattle area at age 3, has been there ever since. And says his earliest Seahawks memory, Mo, was the Beast Quake in January of 2011. And the guy named Beast Mode is playing as the Rams champion. They might see each other later on.
Dcroft off to a good start. There's a very good chance he could be advancing to this next round, especially when you get 7 on your first drive versus that defense that Volterax has. Like I said, he only has Chris Johnson on offense. That's the only playmaker he has. We're going to see him get handed off the ball every single play this drive.
Now keep in mind kind of the dirty little secret about Dcroft. 26th of the 32 competitors in this tournament in terms of run defense stats. And Volterax, like you say, Mo, he's not subtle or coy in any way. He's going to try to run the ball right down your esophagus, but Chris Johnson's tripped up.
Yeah, Dcroft has a great run defense. He just sits in those gaps and he's able to make a user play against those runs. Volterax, not good way to start this game. You know, Dcroft shoots right in for his very first play. You know exactly what defense he's going to be running. Look for that to be a theme in this game.
We saw Nick Hacko run with Chris Johnson right away twice for 2 long touchdowns, 2 70-yard touchdowns on his first 2 carries just a little while ago. This Chris Johnson salvo didn't go quite as well. Drew Brees, the quarterback for Volterax. Handing off, Chris Johnson turns it inside and gets turned back. So I got to ask you, Mo, about the whole Chris Johnson thing, because a week and a half ago it was all Clinton Portis, right? Everywhere. Why is everybody all of a sudden in on CJ?
You know, he's just a little bit more cap. He's a lot faster, and he breaks the tackles just the same way. So that's why we see him use that Chris Johnson.
96 speed. And you look inside the numbers, right? I mean, what's the Jay-Z line? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And there are many good reasons to load up, I guess, with Chris Johnson. About half the field has done that. Seeing a little bit of Eric Dickerson here and there. Some Barry Sanders. A lot of CJ and a lot of room for it here. Zipping to the outside, first down.
And I think Volterax is going to be feeling very comfortable on offense now. It looked like he might have just found a run play to beat that defense. Dcroft's going to have to make an adjustment. Look for Volterax to go back to that run play over and over in this game.
With the guy who, like the Madden 20 campus, is out of that Orlando, Florida area. If you go see where the Madden 20 gets made, Olympia High School is about 15 miles from there, and that's where Chris Johnson's from. It's a long way from where these players are from. As we tick to the end of the first quarter, and these 2 young studs, these 2 young players going at it. 7-0 Seattle right now for Dcroft. And from right around midfield, at it again goes Volterax. Mentioned he's from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Nowhere real close to Boston, though, actually. Johnson trying to swerve inside, and he did get it a little bit.
And, you know, talking to a lot of people that have played Volterax online, this is what they say, that he goes through this entire Oakland playbook and he waits to find a run that you just can't stop. And it looks like he might have found something with that halfback blast. And, you know, I wonder what Dcroft's adjustment is going to be, because it does look like Volterax is having a little bit of space when he calls that play.
He's invested in a killer O-line, too. Joe Staley, Bruce Matthews, Alex Mack, John Runyon, those guys are a wall.
Yeah, when we see that West Coast playbook, we're used to seeing those 12 and 13 caps. Not very good run blockers. We're going to see the great run blockers out here for Volterax.
He ran with Bo Jackson in the club championship game against T. Davis. Ran very well. 2nd and 3 from the 41. Johnson wrapped up by Baker.
And if you're Volterax, you've gotten blown up every single time you ran the stretch. There's no reason to go back to it there. Probably should have just stuck with the blast, and now you got yourself in a tough situation where you need 7 yards and you can't pass the ball.
Dcroft's got tackle supreme on Jerome Baker, the 22-year-old out of the Ohio State University. Another popular card. A popular pick, seeing a lot of Baker, a lot of Keith Bullock at linebacker.
Probably going to see that blast again.
3rd down 7. You see Baker stemming around for Seattle. Johnson nudging his way forward, but that first down make was past the 40. He didn't get there. So now what are you looking at, 4th and 5, Mo?
I think Volterax is going to have to punt here. He doesn't have a quarterback. This is a really tough situation for somebody that has no quarterback.
And the receiving core is not exactly Jerry Rice, Marvin Harris, and Randy Moss. It's like the bizarro receivers group. It's like, what's the most random collection of guys I could get all at a 10 cap?
And Dcroft coming out in a regular defense.
And taking a timeout here. We just saw a couple of fake punts run in a game played right before this, that game that Civil was in. What a great game that was, huh? 35-32 finish.
It looks like Volterax might go for this.
They had the punt team out initially, then the timeout to think it over, I guess.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that blast. That's the only run play he's got going at all.
Got a fullback in front of him here, needing 5 yards. And down 7-0 here, 3:23 to go before the half. Johnson got it. He needed 5, he got 5.
And you know, another thing is this clock's ticking where that was a really big play, because if Volterax gets stopped, Dcroft's probably going to be able to take a 2-possession lead and go into halftime. Instead, Volterax controls the rest of this clock for this half, and he's going to get the ball back to start the second half. Very, very important set of downs coming up right here.
And again, it's jarring if you're not way into Madden to see Drew Brees as your quarterback and you realize this is not the Drew Brees that puts it in the air. The actual Drew Brees was, what, 29 for 30 on Monday night with 4 touchdowns. This Drew Brees keeps handing it off. Johnson, the spin move, and he'll advance to the 38.
And if you're Volterax, you got to stop going to that stretch. You got something there with the blast. You got to continuously go back to it until Dcroft shows that he can hit you in the backfield. You're making defense way too easy for him right now.
Chris Johnson, who actually ended his career as an Arizona Cardinal. Who needs CJ when you've got Kenyon Drake? He says jokingly. Drake just had the 4-touchdown game against the Browns. 2nd and 10 at the fringe of field goal range.
It's going to be a blast.
Been a lot of that so far. There's Johnson. And again, it's just kind of playing bumper cars here. It's 9 carries, 39 yards. So what's that, about 4.5 per carry? So he's just trying to kind of pound away, soften him up so he can finally blast one through.
And, you know, he's running that halfback blast to the weak side, or to the strong side, excuse me, but, you know, he goes away from it, and then he puts himself in a 3rd and 6 situation where he hasn't been getting 6 yards. He has been getting those 4 or 5 yards. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for him.
Revving the engine here. Johnson's got it. Johnson to the house.
And this is exactly what I've heard from the people that play Volterax online. He will cycle through this playbook until he finds a run, and he's going to go to it over and over and over again. He's got to stop going to that stretch, though. There's no reason to run any other play except for that blast right now.
Up the gap and into the end zone. This game's tied at 7. And Dcroft will get it back here. Getting crushed. And we'll start from around the 25.
And kind of a similar situation that we've seen with Master Gamer. Volterax cycling through that playbook, finds a run play, and he's off to the race with Chris Johnson. We've seen a similar thing happen with Master Gamer when he was playing Z-Thumbs. Z-Thumbs found a run play for that same exact defense and wasn't able to stop him, and just was kind of stubborn and stayed in the same run defense. I'm interested to see if Dcroft does the same.
Flipped out, and a fingertip attempt at a catch there for Tyreek Hill. They'll give it to him at 2nd and 4.
I don't like this defense at all versus this offense. I loved when Volterax was in that 3-4 out. It was making life really difficult on Dcroft. This looks way too easy for him right now.
Taking the shot there, getting it to Johnson out of the backfield, and he's even catching passes now. Again, it's all CJ all day today. Both of these players, Dcroft and Volterax, using Chris Johnson. And in a game that features Aaron Rodgers against Drew Brees, we're not really seeing a lot of air it out. Maybe here. No, it collapses on Rodgers, and down he goes.
And, you know, that's actually very lucky that Dcroft didn't fumble that ball. That was actually Pat Tillman that got his hands on the quarterback. We've seen Pat Tillman make everybody in the game fumble. If you're Volt, you need Pat Tillman to make Aaron Rodgers lose that ball right there.
Especially in a game involving the Arizona Cardinals. You figure we're going to talk about Pat Tillman. We have in a 7-7 game.
I expect this to be zone coverage here.
You see Polamalu creeping up from safety. Rodgers back, gets a block, but then the pocket goes totally away on him again.
And I don't love that timeout by Volterax, because you do have such a run-heavy game. You kind of let Dcroft free roll right here. If it gets stopped, you're probably not going to score anyways. But if he's able to convert right here, you just gift-wrapped him 3 points. I don't love the timeout at all by Volterax.
3rd and 16. Who are you looking for? Tyreek Hill out wide left. Do you have anything there?
I would look for a Torrey hole in that dig route that he just put.
Rodgers will run instead. And he gets enough yards here, or do you even think about going for it 4th and 8?
You got to punt the ball here if you're Dcroft. There's absolutely no reason to go for it. You know that it's going to be really difficult for Volterax to score before halftime with the offense that he has. So you got to just punt, believe in your defense in the second half.
Yeah, Volterax, in terms of the wide receivers, it's Vance McDonald, Andre Holmes, and James O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, those aren't wide receivers, and they aren't going to have any chance to touch this ball in this game. I've talked to Volterax. He said no one else will touch my ball except for Chris Johnson.
Not even Lee Smith, the tight end?
There's going to be no play action in this game, and Volterax doesn't want to take any chances on defense. He knows that that's a win for him right now. Probably not going to have a very good punt return anyways, so why not just come out in regular defense?
Ed Reed will tiptoe out of bounds here. So, yeah, I think you're exactly right, Mo. Without a timeout, 52 seconds, and no one to pass it to.
We're going to see a couple runs here. See if Volterax can find something.
Using Johnson, trying to turn the corner. There's a little something. And Johnson skipping out of bounds.
It looks like, you know, Bullock's just not fast enough to catch up to that Chris Johnson. That might have something to do with that having that extra 2 speed on him. Great call there by Volterax, giving yourself a chance to extend this drive before half.
The 4th EA major for Volterax, a 22-year-old from Williamstown, Massachusetts, the home of Williams College. It's a really good Division III school. 7-7 late stages of this second quarter. Arizona and Seattle will get you caught up at halftime of our game on the other NFC West game going on. Johnson smoked this time in the backfield.
And it looked like if Volterax was able to find somebody to block him, he had a lot of space out there, but Dcroft with really good stick work shooting the gap.
Volterax, the Patriots runner-up in Madden 17, has shifted gears to go to Arizona and trying to get it downfield. We're down to 18 seconds left and rolling.
And, you know, that's going to be the half. Volterax, we might see him be able to run one more play here, but if it's not a touchdown, we're going to see 7-7 at the halftime.
The heavy dose of Chris Johnson, and they will not hand it off again. We're going to toddle into halftime here, partner, knotted up 7 apiece.
I think we're going to see one more play out of Volterax before halftime.
Oh, they did stop it with 2. You're right.
Yeah, we're probably going to see a blast here, though. You know, actually, if Dcroft stays in this defense, nope, we're going to see the blast. See if he can get some space out to the left. Flips the play.
Yeah, ready for the blast to get us to the break.
And, you know, I don't love to see Volterax run the blast there because it kind of, it looked like Dcroft just found something for the blast that he had been previously running, and it was like, it was a free situation for Dcroft to try a new defense, and he just found the defense for the run play that was working for Volterax.
Knotted up here, got a close one in the other NFC West semifinal as well. Nick and T. Davis are standing by to catch you up.
Yeah, Josh, this game has been fantastic between Beast Mode Mac and Trey Kings. We've seen some interesting changes. Beast Mode Mac, we know, got here with the nasty streak, running some gum bunch and finding John Ross over the top.
Yeah, back and forth game and big pick right there, Beast Mode, and this was like the filthiest pick six, 100 yards with Deion Sanders. Watch the stick work that Trey Kings utilizes here. Little shimmy, give and go there. So much patience right here. So much patience. Going up 7-0. What a phenomenal pick six.
That put Trey Kings up 7-0 over Beast Mode Mac. Mac looking to respond, though. One more time looking for Ross. This time he's able to drop it in the bucket.
Threading the needle right there up top with the little bomb over the top. Then this Lamar Jackson out of this Panther heavy that Trey Kings is running, using that fast break ability. 14-7.
And then we just recently, in the last couple of seconds, we got a tie ball game now. It is 14-all. It was Devin Hester getting the final touchdown for Beast Mode Mac. Second half, what are you looking for from Trey Kings running that heavy Panther?
Yeah, both these guys are playing pretty solid defense. You know, their touchdowns have been a little So I'm looking for someone to take the advantage on offense. You know, I don't know. It's been a back and forth battle. Someone's got to take the advantage, throw the ball down the field. It's
going to be a fun second half. Don't forget, guys, you can watch this game in its entirety on demand on the Madden Competitive Gaming YouTube channel. You're going to want to check it out. We got second half action between Dcroft and Volterax. Let's throw it back to Josh and Mo.
All right, Nick, awesome job. Appreciate it very much. And indeed, we hope everybody's checking it out on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to Madden Competitive Gaming and watch all of these games. Of course, there were 16 of them yesterday. As we got through the AFC, we're getting through the NFC here today. And again, Mo, it's maybe not completely surprising, but it is jarring to see so much running going on in the NFC.
Yeah, you know, and Volterax is going to be the king of the run. You know, he has no quarterback, no wide receivers. And, you know, we've seen that throughout the day. A lot of people running the ball a ton with that Chris Johnson, but Volterax taking it to another level. Every single play, Chris Johnson's going to get the ball.
Volterax rolling by K-Mike, 28-7 in this round of 32 last year at this time. And now underway with Arizona in possession. And Volterax will rev it up from the 24. So, yeah, you lose in the round of 32 last year. You try to rinse and spit that bitter taste right out of your Massachusetts mouth here if you're Volterax. You got a shot if you can keep running the ball.
And we're going to actually see Volterax come out in goal line normal to start this half. I know Dcroft has to just be uncomfortable playing against this. You know, there's no way he's ever seen this before.
Johnson turning the corner, and Johnson slipping a tackle and getting some extra yards near midfield. Move those chains. It's 105 yards on the ground for Volterax today.
You know, there's nothing more annoying when someone's running the ball down your throat and you're not able to stop it. And, you know, Dcroft has one of the best run defenses in the game, so if he's not going to be able to stop it, look out, NFC, because Volterax is going to be doing this steadily every single game.
All this running makes for a quick game, too, right? The clock just keeps rolling.
We're going to see very few possessions in this game. Even if Volterax gets held to 3 or gets stopped, there's going to be very, very few possessions in Volterax's games.
They'll take that play clock down almost near 0 a lot, too, shortening the game. And he's bringing sand to the beach, running more. After establishing the run just fine, he wants to keep doing it.
And after you got that big gain out that goal line formation, I'm surprised we didn't see him go right back to it. It looked like Dcroft was very, very uncomfortable versus that formation.
Daniel Croft, Dcroft's given name. His dad's an expatriated Englishman, which is where he got his love of English football. And he is quite the soccer player, if you don't know. Before he got hurt, was a heavily recruited goalkeeper up in Seattle. Johnson stuffed to bring up 3rd and long.
This is a really tough situation for Volterax. You got to pick up 8 or 9 yards here to feel comfortable going for it on 4th down.
A lot of experience for Dcroft. 406 ladder games played. He's won 303 of them. We talked about how great Volterax is online. But we say 233 and 4th. But here are the bright lights at the studio. And Chris Johnson almost able to squeak all the way through, but he got enough to make it 4th and 2.
Looked like he was going to break for a touchdown right there, but that secure tackler, able to get the conservative tackle, kind of dives out from behind. If he didn't touch him, he probably would have been out of there with Chris Johnson. No one would have been able to catch him.
Brings up a huge 4th and 2 here, Mo, because here we are about halfway through the 3rd quarter, still tied.
And we're definitely going to see Volterax go for it. Looking at, he put his ball carrier on aggressive, so he's going to fall forward more often, but that gives him a greater chance at fumbling.
Did he put that linebacker in front of him again?
I think so.
Yeah.
It looks like he has Shazier out there.
A lot of players have been doing that here. Shazier leading the way. Johnson all the way near the 30 to move the chains.
And Dcroft wasn't able to get set up on defense. He wasn't in the box like we normally see him doing with that linebacker. And Volterax quick snapped it, got up the field with Chris Johnson. Easy 1st down.
And again, possessions at a premium in this one. Volterax playing a kind of a modified version of keep away.
And Volterax is going to have no problem taking 3, especially in a game like this versus Dcroft, where he's got a great defense. He's going to make Dcroft have to win this game himself. He's not going to make any mistakes here.
Dcroft coming out of the winner's bracket in the Seahawks Club Championship. His first 4 games, he outscored his opponents 87-3. This one's tied at 7, and it's Volterax on the march, again running with Chris Johnson. 20 carries already for Chris Johnson for Volterax.
Yeah, and I love this goal line look that he's given versus Dcroft. Dcroft has no idea how to stop it. And, you know, this is what we know Volterax to be. He always has a different wrinkle than everybody else. He has to find his own way to play, and this is how he's found it, you know. A lot of people we've seen to run out with this 10-cap quarterback and not be very successful on offense. Volterax is moving the ball at his own pace on offense. It's not been very tough on him. He looks very, very comfortable with this 10-cap quarterback.
I think we've had 5 pass completions, the 2 players combined in this game. On to 2nd and 8. Johnson.
Touchdown.
You bet. Chris Johnson takes it across. Volterax on top. You saw it open up on that right side.
Yeah, Chris Johnson's not the guy you want to be chasing. Easy touchdown. Once he gets past that first line of defense, the safeties are out of position. No one there to catch him.
All right, so now the Dcroft is in comeback mode. And again, he throws it at least a little bit. Do you expect to see some of that more, or is he going to keep working that Chris Johnson angle too?
No, we're going to see Dcroft air it out right here. The question is, will Volterax be able to stop it?
No stopping here. 27 yards to glory for Chris Johnson.
And it looked like if Dcroft didn't click off right there with his user, he probably would have been able to tackle him before the pylon, but he accidentally clicks off, sets it up an easy touchdown for Volterax.
Troy Polamalu kind of flailing at him. So here's Rogers. And he'll escape at least to get to the 37.
And what Volterax did right there, the reason I said, uh-oh, it looked like Dcroft was going to take a hit with his quarterback because Volterax actually sent the closest guy to the quarterback with that right stick, and it looked like he may have taken a hit with his quarterback, likely would have led to a fumble.
Rogers steps, it's back.
Oh!
It's actually picked by Mack. Khalil Mack on a deflected ball. And what a turn that is.
Extremely, extremely lucky play there for Volterax. The D tackle goes and picks off the ball. You don't see a whole lot of that at all. Very, very lucky off the tip off the offensive lineman's helmet. And we're going to see Volterax take all of this clock.
How about Khalil Mack being the one that ends up with it? He's a huge Madden guy. You might know the story. He wore 46 in college because that was the rating that EA Sports gave him on the college football video game when he was at the University of Buffalo. Used that as a slight wart right on his chest, but he's a huge Madden guy to this day. As is my partner, Mo, two-time belt winner, who's going to watch as we go into the fourth quarter, get those fours up, get yourself ready for the final 5 minutes here. It is a 14-7 lead. Volterax trying to pull away now. And by the way, as we look forward here, a 1-hour special on ESPN2 Friday, December the 27th. You'll see the highlights from all 4 days of this tournament. ESPN2 has got it. So put that in your day planner if you carry one. You can probably just put it in your phone, I would think. I'm still a day planner guy. That's on December 27th. We get back now into the fourth quarter. Just more run here, right?
Yeah, this is a really tough situation for Dcroft because Volterax is going to take all the clock here. Even if he's not able to get a first down, he's going to take a couple minutes off the clock. And Dcroft is a very methodical player, not a big shot player on offense. He likes to work his way down the field, and it's going to be very, very tough for him to come back in this game.
Oh, a little shimmy there from Johnson. And again, you get a couple first downs here, right? I mean, and even just take 3 points, you're going to win this thing.
Yeah, if Volterax goes 3 and out right here, he's going to be perfectly fine with that, going up by 10 points. And then even if Dcroft's able to strike quickly, he'll only need 1 first down to seal the game, and he has that 95 overall defense out there. Going to be very, very tough for Dcroft.
And you're never stretching to the point where it's out of bounds, right? I mean, you're going to run dive plays, and if you do stretch, you got to stay in bounds.
All his run plays are going to go right up the middle right here. And if he has the opportunity to bounce it outside with Chris Johnson and maybe get a touchdown, we'll see him take that.
If you bounce it and get to the 5, do you just sit down?
I think so. I would prefer to see that just because he has that very high overall defense. Don't want to give Dcroft too much time to work with.
Volterax swinging the axe here with Johnson, who will take it inside the pylon and score.
And, you know, I don't love the touchdown there just because it would have been really difficult for Dcroft to win this game if you go down. But it's very, very tough to come back 2 possessions when you're playing a player like Volterax who has all those high OVR players out there. You're going to be looking for routes down the field, and they're just not going to have time to develop.
I'm with you. If you sit on your butt at the 2-yard line, you're going to take another, 90 seconds off the clock before you score again, right?
Yep, minimum. You're going to take that 90 seconds off. You know, it's really going to end up being 2 minutes off because you're going to count for those 40 seconds you got as well.
Let's get you back to a Snickers intercepted replay here on that deflected ball. Khalil Mack gobbled it up.
Yeah, just an extremely fortunate play there for Volterax. I'm not sure if the pass would have been completed anyways. He's low ball into a running back, so you never really know what's going to happen. But very, very lucky for Volterax.
Time to let it fly, but he can't get it away. And the sack from Jalen Smith is a big one here.
And, you know, that's a read that Dcroft doesn't normally miss. He had that curl wide open on the left, but he's just looking for something downfield. You got to still take your checkdowns in this situation.
Seahawks fans rooting for Aaron Rodgers? Yes, only in Madden. Shazier coming at him, and from behind, Rodgers goes down. That defense is dialed up hot right now for Volterax.
Yeah, and he's tackling him out of inbounds, so the clock's continuously running, and Dcroft's not picking up any yards. This is a perfect situation for Volterax right now.
3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Rogers in trouble again, and it's a sack attack here. Lawrence Taylor got him.
This is going to be very tough to pick it up versus Volterax defense. Excuse me. He has very high OVR players. Look for him to just send pressure right here and let those deep blues kind of just do their own thing and have no time to complete a pass right here. Look for Lawrence Taylor off this left edge.
Volterax stacking sacks like Jenga blocks right now. And it's already been a 3-sack game for LT. Dewey here 4.
Uh-oh, he's got him.
Rogers, no, picked instead by Troy P. Polamalu the other way. And this will seal it either way. He goes down at the 15.
And you know, we see a lot of people use that budget Troy Polamalu, not for Volterax. He actually has +2 speed on him with the best version. And look at him, he's going to take some knees right here and just kick a field goal, go up by 3 possessions. Not going to risk a turnover. Very, very smart by Volterax to do this.
And again, so funny just to see Drew Brees, who's all about airing it out, to the tune of 29 for 30 the other night. Just keep handing it off and taking a series of knees. That's all you got to do.
I think I told you yesterday when Turbo Jeff was playing, this isn't your typical Drew Brees. This is Drew Brees in San Diego right when he tore his shoulder out.
Wait, and I was there to see it, buddy, so don't twist the knife too bad. That was John Lynch that was there to land on him. On a play in the end zone, Broncos and Chargers. A field goal here gets us to the 2-minute warning, 24-7.
And this one's all but over. And the story of the game was really that interception where it hit off his offensive lineman's head and Khalil Mack goes and picks off the ball. A very fortunate play for Volterax, but you know, he pays those players a lot of money with their salary cap. They need to make plays like that for him.
Well, and you called it, Mo. I mean, it's all about the run game and defense, right, for Volterax. And he had a heavy dose of both those items here, and he's going to win.
Yeah, he converted a couple forced downs that kind of kept his drives going, where if he didn't convert them, the game might have got out of hand for him. And that's really the difference in the game sometimes.
Tyreek Hill, who's been a phantom in this game.
And Volterax will give him that all day. You know, this game's essentially over. It's going to be really tough. He's going to need 2 onside kicks. And I don't even know how he's going to be able to score when he's going to have to press a little bit on offense. And Volterax just isn't giving up anything easy.
He's got to go up top at some point, right? Firing this one out of bounds. I mean, if you start getting pass plays in chunks of 5s and 6s, you're going to run out of time.
The problem is he's just never going to have time to get those guys to get up the field, just because Volterax does have those really good edge blitzers, and he has those guys in coverage with 90 zone everywhere, 95+ speed almost on every possession as well. Just in a ridiculous set of defense right now.
Underneath for the first down, but you're right. I mean, we read this off here. It's Ed Reed, it's Troy Polamalu, it's Pat Tillman, it's a 95 Deion Sanders, a 95 grade Rod Woodson that he's got available. Lawrence Taylor, Hall of Famer Willie Lanier. He's got Lanier and Shazier. And Khalil Mack is a guy we hardly even mentioned when you look at this roster. Diving catch by Holt to stay alive.
Dcroft not giving up though, staying in the fight. Going to continue to play his heart out, and you know, you got to respect that. Volterax defense is so good that he has Pat Tillman in as his slot corner. That's absolutely ridiculous.
That's a great way to put it. This ball aired out and on the sidelines. Is that a good catch?
Great read by Dcroft right there, and great stick work on that sideline, swerving in and out to make that catch.
Tyreek Hill dragging the toes. Troy Hill, by the way, is one of the corners for Volterax. You talk about, it's like that old Sesame Street. One of these things here doesn't belong. Sanders, Woodson, Reed, Polamalu, Tillman, and Troy Hill.
Yeah, we're not going to see Troy Hill get a whole lot of playing time with this defense that Volterax has, unless there's a lot of no huddling going on.
Well, that's a half a dozen sacks. Rogers back to work, into the end zone, threaded it in there, got the touchdown.
Great read by Dcroft right there, seeing the post coming open. He's going to have to get an onside kick really quick right here and drive down the field and get a field goal and try to give himself a chance. It's going to be very, very tough, though.
Yeah, that extra field goal, right, to make it the 24 points, not 21. That's huge. Made it that 2-possession game and nearly impossible now. But there is the onside kick. Gobbled up. O'Shaughnessy will take it. And Volterax is going to take it. He will be able to move on and get the winner of that 49ers-Rams game that we're tracking as well. Dcroft with a heck of a run to get here. The former soccer player booted. Volt got him by 10 here, Mo, and I know you love that run game Really, even before we came on the air, you were talking about how tough Volterax was going to be, and he was tough.
You know, when you